Well, I do not. I've got torn biceps, so I chose not to do that.
I think I would understand that, yeah. Oh,
Ruthie did though.
oh, okay, so at least your household is.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I know we need a little push to do exercising. And since walking isn't as good as it used to be, it's be back to the lifting a few weights. Not very heavy, you understand.
Well, you know, that just a regular, I guess it's an 8-ounce can of green beans or peas or that corn is almost the exact, you know, if you can grab a hold of a can, that, you know, one in each hand, that could, you know, take the place of the weights.
Is an 8-ounce corn can heavier than an 8-ounce can of peas?
Depends on how you cut them.
Oh. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Don.
Hi. We can get going. The Dr. Rose's speech is only about 20 minutes long, so we can we'll start that and then we'll come on back together. So give me a moment here. I'm going to mute everybody.
Okay. You might want to close the door.
Why? Okay.
Recipient of our Manfred E. Schwarzenski Humanitarian Service Award. Now, this year's selection committee chair, Joyce Framley, will come to the podium.
Today, we honor the memory of Rabbi Manfred E. Schwarzenski. I'm Joyce Bromley, chair of the selection committee. Rabbi Schwarzenski was a beloved member of our club until his death in 1981. He was admired as a leader for an interfaith dialogue, religious tolerance, and civil rights. Before coming to Madison, he had a brilliant career as a rabbi in Berlin, where he was famous for his sermons, until the Nazis burned down his synagogue and sent him to a concentration camp. He was released, and at age 39 and alone, he came to Madison and founded Temple Bethel. We, as well as the Madison community, came to admire him and respect him for his dedication and leadership to peacemaking and forgiveness, for building bridges and reconciliation. Each year, we designate an award to someone who emanates the rabbi's ideals. A list of past participants of this august award can be found in today's award program attached to this morning's Rotary office email, or refer to page 62 of our club's membership manual. I'm honored to announce that this year's Manfred E. Schwarzenski Humanitarian Service Award recipient is Dr. Floyd Rose. I extend a special welcome to those who are attending today's program virtually, Dr. Rose's family, the family of Rabbi Schwarzenski, and past Schwarzenski Award winners. On to Dr. Rose. For decades, Dr. Rose's active voice could be heard in the education in the Madison community. It has been his avocation, always working in partnerships to help others do better for themselves. As Don Krimp states, his passion work is education and his support of the next generation. He seeks to find solutions with the Madison Metropolitan School District and its families surrounding the persistent educational achievement gap between white students and students of color. As president of 100 Black Men of Madison, he sees that members of this organization are role models for the community. They attend schools in the Madison Metropolitan School District on the first day of class to welcome students and their parents to the school year. In preparation for school, for 26 years, they have led the annual Back to School celebration campaign, providing free backpacks and school supplies for students from limited income families. When schools transitioned to virtual learning, the Backpack Project immediately transitioned into Project 3000, which represents the 3,000 local students in families with limited incomes. The tasks before them were immediate. Dr. Rose recognized that virtual learning at home requires more than a student and a laptop. The entire family needs to be supported in their students' academic pursuits. Parents and caregivers require resources and necessary to facilitate learning. Families need technical guidance and support. Project 3000 works with families to ensure that each student has an internet installation and access with sustainable service and utilities. When appropriate, parents, caregivers, and students are provided with basic computer training. This support includes mentoring, educational coaching, and tutoring. Dr. Rose recognized that this level of attention is important to ensure that all school-aged students have the necessary educational support to be successful. This endeavor is in addition to the SOAR partnership with 100 Black Men of Madison and the United Way of Dane County that began in 2016. This comprehensive program is designed to decrease truancy rates and increase high school graduation rates. It begins with one-to-one mentoring of students in middle school and continues through high school. These projects require a substantial commitment to the benefit of others and for the next generation. I conclude with a quote from Bob Sorg, who wrote of Dr. Rose. He is an excellent embodiment of the social justice advocacy, personal insight, and empathy reflected by the work and life of Rabbi Swarczynski. This award includes a recognition plaque and a $2,500 grant to be given to a nonprofit organization of the recipient's choosing. Floyd has chosen the Madison Rotary Foundation Community Grant Campaign because he believes that our foundation's community grants are more important than ever to help build strong communities in this current environment of health and economic instability. Thank you, Floyd, for choosing our community grant campaign. Acknowledging our club's Manfred E. Swarczynski Humanitarian Award is always such a special program. Dr. Rose, on behalf of Rotary Club, I am honored to present you with the 2020 Manfred E. Swarczynski Humanitarian Award plaque. And we look forward to hearing your program. I'm going to put it on the side of the podium here so you can collect it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. As the 220 recipient of the Manfred E. Swarczynski Humanitarian Service Award, I have chosen to accept this honor on behalf of a remarkable organization in our community, the 100 Black Men of Madison. To demonstrate the true depth and breadth of this amazing composition of service providers, I will employ the adage, "You are what you do." To provide context, I am honored and privileged to share the following. The mission of the 100 Black Men of Madison is to improve the educational and economic opportunities of all our citizens. The vision: to create environments where our children are motivated to achieve and empower people to become self-sufficient shareholders in the communities we serve. Our history. We are honored that our organization, both nationally and locally was initiated and sustained by true trailblazers. Nationally, one of our founding members was David Dinkins, the first African American mayor of the city of New York. Also, one of our founding national members was Jackie Robinson, regarded as the first African American to play Major League Baseball. Locally, 27 years ago, next month, a founding member of the 100 Black Men of Madison was Dr. Perry Henderson, who, as you know, is a Rotarian. And currently, Rotarians Dr. Willie Larkin and Charles Tubbs, Director of Dane County Emergency Management, serve on the 100 Black Men Board of Directors. Prior to 16 March of this year, the 100 Black Men of Madison embraced and supported the activity of serving the whole child. Pursuant to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we believe and strive to ensure that those we serve can best reach their goals of attainment by ensuring that basic needs are fulfilled. The provisions of food, safety, love, self-esteem are not options but obligations. For more than 25 years, the 100 Black Men of Madison served thousands of area children of limited income families in this manner. We believe that in order for these postulates to be fulfilled, it will allow that all will be able to achieve the best version of oneself. And although the platform of focusing on the whole child has proven to be extremely successful, 16 March, 100 Black Men of Madison were challenged with the need of expanding our reach to that of the whole family. In the wake of COVID-19 and the associated social distancing that was initiated, which transitioned school attendance from physical presence to virtual platforms, the 100 Black Men of Madison embarked upon the journey of servicing 3,000 limited income families via Project 3000. It embodies 5 essential areas of focus: food security, connectivity, virtual learning support, mentoring, and factual communication. Regarding food security, the 100 Black Men of Madison endeavored to expand the provision of nutritional food and support where basic needs have been greatly curtailed for all and totally removed for many. To that point, we have instituted the program Helping Those Who Help Others. With the closure of school and the establishment of social distancing, the guarantee of daily nutritional food, breakfast and lunch, in a sanitary and secure environment with paid individuals to provide nurturing and support have been greatly eliminated for all K-12 students. In far too many instances, have been removed for far too many students. Helping Those Who Help Others is a collaborative project to provide 2 things: nutrition and to build trust. We have worked successfully with members of the Madison Fire Department, their organization, Sable Flames, and the Madison Metropolitan Police Department and their organization, the Black Officer Coalition. Connectivity and the digital divide. Given the abrupt transition to remote learning and telemedicine, the need for universal connectivity is no longer an option but an obligation. The 100 Black men strive to ensure that all, irrespective of income, have electronic connectivity. Please note, the name of this effort, Project 3000, originated from the published report 3 weeks after the transition to a computer-based platform that 3,000 families did not have access to internet services. Hence the name and designation Project 3000. Virtual learning. Our educational coaches provide both blended and online learning opportunities to expand student access to educational resources and thus enhance the virtual teacher-student relationships in hopes to create stronger interpersonal connections. Through these means, we have been very blessed with an amazing amount of success. Recently, the 100 Black Men of Madison, in collaboration with the State Farm Insurance Company and the 100 Black Men of America, implemented the virtual dollars and cents youth investment competition to address and help eradicate financial literacy among youth of color. This rigorous financial literacy program was designed to provide high school students with early opportunities to learn and apply best practice principles for saving and investing. This amazing, capable 100 Black Men of Madison financial literacy team, composed of area students coached by 100 Black Men of Madison member Donald Dantzler, brought home the national championship. Please note, there are 100 chapters of the 100 Black Men nationally who could have been involved in this national activity, of which the 100 Black Men of Madison won. After a stellar performance at this event, each participant of this team will receive a scholarship award for their freshman year of college in the amount of $4,500. Mentoring, transitioning high touch into high tech. We, at the date of 16 March, we're working with 551 students in 5 school districts and 38 schools. To that point, we have now intensified our efforts to provide a transitional youth virtual mentee curriculum entitled Mentoring the 100 Way Across a Lifetime, involving the exposure to tools and skills that mentees can use to be productive in school and in their communities. Factual communication. Given the stark realization that factual communication can be the difference between life and death, the 100 Black Men have shared the written wisdom of those cohort individuals who we consider experts in their areas of concentration. Examples of these authorities are Sean Frazier, who discusses COVID-19, college, and high school athletics. Sean is a former member of the 100 Black Men of Madison former assistant athletic director at University of Wisconsin-Madison, and currently is the athletic director of Northern Illinois University. Dr. Diane Gooding has discussed talking to your kids about COVID-19. Dr. Gooding is a professor of psychology and psychiatry at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Dr. Tremaine Clarity, who has discussed and written to our families and their students about what needs to be done to have a successful virtual experience. And Damon Boatwright, Regional President of SSM Health, who has continually discussed the state of COVID-19 developments and suggestions. The platform of the 100 Black Men of Madison is predicated on 4 pillars of consideration. We purport to respect for families. We purport to justice, integrity, and spirituality, believing in something greater than self. We believe that there is compatibility with that of Rotary, given the 4-way test of things to say, do, and think. Is it true? Is it fair? Will it build goodwill? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? As I attempt to understand the amazing works of Rabbi Swarzinski, I have learned that the rabbi actively and tirelessly endeavored to ensure that his actions would possibly result in a better world. And it is my understanding that a hallmark of his efforts was to make sure that everyone he engaged felt special, and he, I believe, from what I've heard, was very successful in doing so. In a time of amazing and ever-changing uncertainty, possibly we can take solace and comfort in replicating the actions of the good rabbi. Possibly by following the rabbi's lead and making an extra effort to ensure that those we engage feel that they belong, feel valued, and are respected for who they are. Possibly we, through those actions, can achieve a better world. I pray that we do so. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Floyd, and thanks for everyone who attended today's meeting. We are adjourned.
Okay. One second. I had to listen to a webinar for vaccines at the same time, so I didn't get to listen to Dr. Rose as clearly as I wanted to. So who wants to kick things off? Carol, can I ask you? Well, wait. I'm going to ask you to unmute first. There you go.
Now,
You got it.
okay. I actually met Floyd Rose quite a few years ago, and it was because I kept seeing educational seminars that he would set up, and they were just individuals. I had no idea who'd be going, and it sounded like it was for people who just wanted to learn a little bit more about the community and what was going on for particularly education. So I talked a friend into going with me, and it was one of those experiences that I think a number of us have had, where we were the only two white people in the group. And it was an excellent program, and about the way education is approaching working with families and with the children of color. So when he joined Rotary, I kind of was anxious to get to know him a little bit better. He's a very easy guy to talk to. I thought his talk was just a little more stilted, and yet he had what he wanted to get across was for us to understand about the 100 Black men and all that they do. So I learned a lot from him, and I admire him very much as an individual I see as a leader in the community.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone else work with Dr. Rose before or talk to him? Don, go ahead.
I have not had that pleasure here, but I have worked in the past over several years with the 100 Black Men of Atlanta, representing the Emory University Museum in trying to heighten the impact of our programs for the grade school community. And they provided a lot of input and support for it.
Nice. That's great. Other comments, questions, or thoughts?
My observation, Tim, is that the 100 Black Men has a much lower visibility than I would expect, consider how long has the organization existed in Madison?
Ooh, good
Quite a
question.
while.
Let me see if I could find that.
It doesn't matter. My point, I think, is that it has lower visibility than I would have expected in terms of its presence here in our community.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's because it's not working with our community. It's working with the Black community.
I'm speaking of the total community, Black.
I know, but my sense is that they tend to keep a fairly low profile beyond the people that they are serving, and that may be intentional.
Yeah, it says it was incorporated in it started in '94 here in Madison, but you know they work mentoring young African American males. So maybe that, like to MJ's point, we wouldn't see it as much.
So then maybe the question is, should we see more?
Yes.
Good question.
Ingrid, go ahead.
So I'm wondering if part of the way to see more of them is for people to reach out to them and inquire how we can assist in promoting their mission. The League of Women Voters does work with them on voter registration and voting issues in general. So I think it is possible to connect with them and assist them in achieving their mission and goals.
And the United Way of Dane County does that also.
Mm-hmm.
I will send a link to their website and ways to help. They have a page that says ways to help, and there's all sorts of different ways.
That'd be good. Good.
I think they've chosen to focus on the education issue more than ever, because when you stop and think of the families who are suddenly faced with, my child's education takes place here in our home with talking to somebody on a computer, you know that I think many of us would have felt a little at sea to be trying to fill in that role in a child's education so that they see themselves as being able to offer some of these classes and certainly the services, the direct service. But boy,
Just one under the desk.
to have a third grader and try to keep up with what I'm supposed to know that they would get from a classroom and do it at home. I have a granddaughter who teaches in the Sun Prairie schools, and I talk with her about it every now and then. And most children are not going to be able to keep up without having some strong help at home. It just won't happen if they aren't helped that way. And I kind of think that's become a priority for this group, the way I heard Floyd talking about it.
Well, and if your belly's empty, you can't even go there.
That's true. Yeah, I seem to think that, Carol, I agree that they're focusing on that was the most important need right now, which I 100% agree with them is. They were able to identify and mobilize around that quickly, which is good. Excuse me, couldn't find mute. Other questions or comments?
Could we use this opportunity to maybe ask, I think it's Ingrid, who is kind of leading some of the efforts to get more of us engaged in some of the interracial discussions. Am I right, Ingrid?
I think maybe you are thinking of the effort that Morris and I have started with the help of the foundation to develop a group to discuss caste and other issues related to.
Have you started it?
It starts tomorrow.
Oh, well,
But we welcome more people. It's going to go on for quite a while. So if people would like to join, we'll probably be talking about one chapter at a time for a while, or maybe 2 chapters at a time. So sort of depends on what we all decide to do. So if there's anyone who would like to participate, you could send either me or contact either me or Morris. And I do have one spare copy of the book Cast right now, which I'd be happy to bring by to somebody's apartment if you'd like to borrow it. The foundation paid for 5 copies of the book. So thanks for asking.
Well, that's great. Other questions or comments? Okay.
may I give a promotion to the next speaker that we have?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Beat Dawn to it.
Don, you go at it. I've been talking.
No, go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
This past Wednesday, the program was presented by Stephen Olakara. Tim, did you see that?
No.
Yeah. He's a young man on his way up. It was one of the most fantastic presentations I have ever heard. Indian American. He's the president and founder of an organization called the Millennium Action Project, based in Washington. He's a UW graduate and on the board of trustees of UW International. The purpose of the organization is to work with young legislators, 25 to 40, on the subject of bipartisanship. And they work with representatives in Congress and particularly state legislators. And he'll talk very specifically about how they approach it and some of their accomplishments. I was quite impressed. And Tim, when the day comes when we have the Badger Lecture Series resurrected, I think we'll put him on the invitation list. Is that okay, Carol?
Oh, that was good, Don.
Okay.
He just, he is a fine speaker. He was really well organized. And the reactions in the, after the Rotary, people who stayed on to raise questions with him. I have a confession that whenever there's a chat room, I get to the point where I pay more attention to what the people are writing in on the chat book than I do to the lecturers sometimes. But I was just stunned by the number of members of Rotary who had had some relationship with him when he was on campus and some of the things he did. Dawn Prim must have written 3 different messages about him. And he was so glad that she was in the audience and he reacted. It was just such a, it seems so normal that people who knew him and people who didn't know him were equally interested in these conversations. And we talked about a few specific questions. Some of them were issues that I personally am very interested in, and I just found the way they were approaching it, like redistricting. I'm looking right at Ingrid when I'm talking, but I mean things that are so important to try to get a bipartisan approach here in our state, and they're working with congressional young members, but also, as you mentioned, also state legislatures.
Sadly, we won't have access to the questions and answers.
Well, you know what?
It was conducted on Zoom.
What if we asked him and got him on the phone? That was so helpful when we had David Cannon, and you know, it's just in his interest to have more of us know about what they're doing and interested in it. If Tim, think about that one, if we would want to try to find him to see if he would answer this.
Yeah, I'm
He's got a website.
What's his name again? Could we have his name again?
Oh, yeah.
Kara. It's an Indian name, a South Asian name.
Spell it.
Olkara.
here. I'll show you from the newsletter here. Yeah, it's well, actually, I'll just send it in the chat. So now you have to get distracted.
Oh, okay, Stephen Olakara.
There it is, yeah.
Okay.
I can ask him. That's no problem. It's just we'll see if he needs some more lead time.
Right.
Just gonna look him up.
Let me
Come next week. You said that.
I can let me try to find that information and see if we can get it.
Tim,
Yeah.
Ron Luskin was the person who arranged the program.
Okay.
Ron knew him from his university days.
Yeah, let me.
You have a few things to do. Could one of us volunteer for that? Or Tim?
Yeah, if you want to try to get in touch with him, here I'll send you.
I'll get in touch
I'll
with
call
Dawn.
Ron. I'll call Ron this
There
afternoon
you go.
and see if he can be an intermediary.
I bet he could.
Yeah, you know, if we need to reschedule this or the time of day to get into Steven's schedule, I'm sure we could try to do that too.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, let me know so we can change things up if we need to.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. I will send the link I mentioned on the 100 Black Men of Madison. I'll send that out.
Good,
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, have a
Thank
great
you.
afternoon.
Thanks a lot.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.